So guys, Bitcoins hit a new all-time high at over $125,000 this past weekend. So now it is no longer a question of should you invest in Bitcoins, because if you're not already holding at least some portion of Bitcoins in your portfolio, then you should be looking for ways to get yourself into this crypto party and not miss out on making money and building wealth for yourself. But here's the good news. You can actually invest in Bitcoins without having a crypto account or using a crypto exchange. Yes, you can. Since 2024, there are spot Bitcoin ETFs that make buying Bitcoins so easy. And so today, I'll be sharing with you my 5 best Bitcoin ETFs that traders should know. I'll be breaking down why they're quality picks and share some entry and exit signals as well. And if you're new here, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free and doesn't cost you anything but your time, and I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you want to learn more trading tips, strategies, and get weekly market insights, then don't forget to turn on the notification to get notified anytime I upload a new video. And you can also share to your friends and families so that others can benefit as well. So without further ado, let's dive in. So first, let's get a quick context. Spot Bitcoin ETFs provide a way for people to invest in Bitcoins, which is the largest cryptocurrency in the world, without using a crypto account or using a crypto exchange. And these ETFs can be purchased through your normal stock trading account or Roth IRA. So since January 2024, when the US Securities and Exchange Commission approved spot Bitcoin ETFs, some well-known firms have launched a variety of products. Some of them have relied on offering low fees and scale, while others have relied more on their brand trust and active management. So you'll see some funds are priced more aggressively to grab market share, while others use their brand trust to attract long-term flows. Don't worry, I'll note fees when relevant as we go on. And how do these Bitcoin ETFs work? Each of these funds purchase and store Bitcoins, which makes up substantially all the fund's assets. This means that they invest in actual Bitcoins and track the actual price movement closely. So they try to provide a more accurate reflection of Bitcoin's real-time market price. So if Bitcoin rises or falls by 10%, these ETFs will rise or fall 10% too, but less their management fees. Whenever the fund gets additional money, the fund uses it to purchase more Bitcoins to hold. If you multiply the current real-time price of Bitcoin by the total quantity of Bitcoin held by the fund, it reflects the ETF's total exposure to Bitcoin and its net asset value. So let's say, for example, if an ETF holds 100,000 units of Bitcoin, and with the current price of Bitcoin at $125,000, then the total value of Bitcoin held by the ETF would be 100,000 Bitcoins multiplied by $125,000, which is equals to $12.5 billion. So when you buy the ETF, you are buying fractional ownership of the Bitcoins they hold. And since ETF tracks Bitcoin directly, most of them move similarly to Bitcoin. But then again, each have a different yearly fee called expense ratio. A higher expense ratio will result in lower returns for you, the investor, because it means that more of the returns are taken by the fund managers or the fees. Therefore, the best Bitcoin ETFs are the ones with the lowest fees generally. Why do spot Bitcoin ETFs matter? Because spot Bitcoin ETFs generally hold actual Bitcoins rather than futures. So the ETF tracks the spot price more closely. And that matters for traders because tracking error is smaller and provides more liquidity, which can be better for bigger moves. Also, Bitcoin ETFs are safer to store. They are perfect if you want to profit from Bitcoin without having to worry about security and storage. If you buy Bitcoin directly from the exchange, it gives you full ownership of your coins, but it also means you're responsible for security and managing your private keys. So you choose a Bitcoin ETF if you're looking for convenience, and choose Bitcoin directly if you're looking for full ownership. So all the ETFs on the list use cold storage for holding their Bitcoins. Cold storage means the Bitcoins are not accessible to hackers online. And on the other hand, hot storage or a hot wallet is when Bitcoins is held in an account online. You don't need to have a crypto wallet to buy and own Bitcoin ETFs, since the fund is using its own. And since many of these Bitcoin ETFs are newer, some have temporarily agreed to waive some of the management fees associated with the fund. But this is just a temporary measure. And so, to create this list, I incorporated fees to see what the fees will be after the fees are implemented, since this waiver will only be for a short period. So here are my top Bitcoin ETFs right now. I'll be mentioning them according to their rank in order, from the best to the worst, based on a combination of their fees and their returns. The first one is HODL, which is known as VanEck Spot Bitcoin ETF. This is one of the market makers in the space. VanEck has a well-known custody model and priced this ETF to be competitive. Because VanEck offered fee concessions early and waived off its fees, it attracted large flows of funds from investors quickly. And just recently, it acquired 6 more Bitcoins to its current holdings, which increased its total holdings. And currently, HODL holds 18,256 Bitcoins in its portfolio. I'll leave it here and let you do the math. And why is it a top pick? HODL is a top choice because currently it has no expense ratio until the fund reaches $2.5 billion in assets under management, or at least until 10th of January 2026, when the 0.2% fee will kick in. Although this 0.2% fee is the same as the second ranked ETF on the list, however, HODL has performed slightly better, and since a management fee isn't charged currently. Since it started operating in 2024, HODL has made a return of 10.31% in the last 1 month, 48.87% in the last 6 months, and 103.13% in the last 1 year. HODL is currently sitting at $34.76 and went up 12.5% from this low of $30.85 to this high of $35.11 in the last 5 days. If you're looking to get into HODL, an ideal entry will be a pullback to the 50 or 200 moving average, or at this previous resistance level around $33. And if price fails to hold support at this level and continues to drop, then watch out for the next level here around this 30-50 zone. Support is holding strongly here, so that is an ideal entry zone. And you can ride it up to this resistance at $35 and above. If the Bitcoin momentum continues and it breaks this resistance here, you can see a push upwards to the next levels around the $40 range. Just make sure to take some profit when you see profits and always protect your capital. The second ranked on the list is BITB, known as Bitwise Bitcoin ETF. Bitwise launched BITB with a strong research brand behind it. It is historically known for crypto indexes, just like you have stock market indexes like the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq 100 that tracks performance of a bundle of companies. Crypto indexes also track performance of a bundle of cryptocurrencies. So BITB is built for investors who want low-cost access to Bitcoin. And if you're asking why Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, well, Bitwise Bitcoin ETF is ranked second because it has the lowest expense fee. It is also one of the largest funds on this list in terms of assets under management. It controls over $5 billion in assets and has a higher daily average volume than the other top-ranked ETFs. BITB Bitcoin ETF currently holds 42,461 Bitcoins in its portfolio. It has generated a return of 10.28% in the last 1 month, 48.62% in the last 6 months and 102.85% in the last 1 year. It is currently sitting at $66.82 and has gone up by over $6 from this low of $61 to its current high of $67.46 in the last 5 days. Now, if you want to invest in BITB Bitcoin ETF, you need to buy low and sell high. So wait for a pullback to this previous resistance around 63.50 to 64.50, as this is an ideal entry level. If support holds at this level here, then we will see price moving back upwards to hit its current high at $67. But if price continues to drop, then we should be seeing a drop to this level here around the $61 zone. You can always use dollar costing average to average down your cost. So even if you buy at this first level here and price drops further, you can buy some more at the lower level to average down your cost. Remember, the market will not stay down forever. It will still make its way back up. The third Bitcoin ETF on the list is ARKB. ARKB is the ARK and 21 Shares collaboration Bitcoin ETF. It pairs ARK's active approach and marketing strength with 21 Shares' crypto ETF experience. And this combination attracts both retail and institutional investors. It is ranked third on the list because it has a modest management fee, which is also known as expense fee. So its expense ratio is 0.21%, which is a tiny bit higher than the other top-ranked ETF, even though it has a decent daily average volume of 2.2 million and assets under management of $5.43 billion. ARK21 Shares Bitcoin ETF currently holds 45,240 Bitcoins in its portfolio. And in terms of performance, this fund has made a return of 10.29% in the last 1 month, 8.8% in the last 3 months, 48.76% in the last 6 months, and a whopping 102.83% in the last 1 year. ARKB Bitcoin ETF's current price is $40.83, and in the last 5 days it has gone up from $37.50 to its current high of $41.24. So if you're looking to buy ARKB Bitcoin ETF, because it is currently on the high side, considering it is very close to its recent high, so just wait for a pullback to its previous resistance, which is around $39 here. But if support does not hold at this level and price continues to fall, then watch out for this next level here to buy some more. Support is holding strongly at around this zone between $35.90 and $37. You can always use dollar costing average so you buy more when the price drops even lower. The fourth ranked on the list is IBIT Bitcoin ETF. IBIT is the iShares Bitcoin Trust offered by BlackRock. I know BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager, and IBIT is just one among their many investments and product offerings. The iShares Bitcoin ETF is often the biggest by assets, controlling over $98 billion in assets. It has deep liquidity and index-like behavior, which means that it tries to deliver the same returns as a particular index. IBIT Bitcoin ETF is one of the most actively traded Bitcoin ETFs in the US. It has the highest daily average volume and assets under management of the funds on this list. And this makes it also good for short-term trades. But if you're investing in it for the long term, know that you'll be paying a slightly higher fee of 0.25%. So for this reason is why it is ranked fourth on the list. IBIT Bitcoin ETF currently holds 802,197 Bitcoins in its portfolio, and currently it has over $98 billion in assets under management. IBIT ETF is currently trading at $69.81 and has made a return of 10.35% in the last 1 month, 48.72% in the last 6 months, and 102.94% in the last 1 year. And just in the last 5 days, it has gone up by 8% from $63.62 to its current high of $70.47. So, if you're looking for a buy zone in IBIT ETF, this level right here is holding strongly at support, which is around 66.90 to 67, let's just say 67.50 zone. If support does not hold at this level, then watch out for this next level here. But always confirm these levels with volume before you enter any trade. And the 5th ranked Bitcoin ETF and the last on the list is EZBC, known as Franklin Bitcoin ETF from Franklin Templeton. Franklin Bitcoin ETF is well known among many advisors, and it competes on a mix of brand trust and reasonable fees. It is ranked 5th on this list because it offers the highest expense fee of 0.29%, and this generally means that less money stays in the investor's pocket. Franklin Bitcoin ETF currently holds 5,818 Bitcoins in its portfolio, and in terms of performance, this ETF has made 10.31% returns in the last 1 month, 48.6% returns in the last 6 months, and 102% in returns in the last 1 year. But one downside of EZBC ETF is that not only does it have a little over $700 million in assets under management, the daily volume is also very low. It does an average daily volume of only over 100,000. So there is usually more than enough for investors to buy, but not enough for an active day trader. EZBC Bitcoin ETF is currently sitting at $71.17 per share and has moved up by over 10% in the last 5 days from $64.90 to its recent high of $71.85. EZBC Bitcoin ETF often shows steady accumulation on volume after dips. So if you want to get in, you should target dips at support levels. So watch out for when it pulls back to its previous resistance here around $68.30. If the support level does not hold, price may continue to drop to the next support zone, which is around this zone here. That is around $62.50 and $64 range. And set a profit target to exit. You may want to set a profit target of 20%, 30%, 40%, whichever. But remember, lock in profits when you see profits. So these are my top Bitcoin ETFs to watch now in 2025 into 2026. HODL, BITB, ARKB, IBIT, and EZBC. Each one of them has a reason to be in a trader and investor's toolkit, either based on scale, fees, brand trust, research pedigree, or liquidity. There are quite a few other Bitcoin ETFs than the ones I listed here, but they didn't make the list because of their higher fees. This list focused on only the Bitcoin ETFs with the lowest fees, adequate volume, and competitive returns. Also make sure to do your own research and check live quotes before trading. ETFs and cryptocurrencies are volatile and you can lose money. The rewards can be potentially big, but so are the risks. So make sure you think about how much Bitcoin ETF you want to own in your portfolio and have a proper plan and strategy in place, okay? So don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!